I'm D-Day.
I'm back.
Hello. This is Accuracy Third. I'm Rex.
I'm D-Day.
He's going to have to use that now.
It's fine. This one's
terrible.
going in
That's
the
fine.
burn barrel with Pepe and Zeno.
Perfect.
So usually, before we get right into this thing, we don't release our entire conversation with people we interview because even though content is a very loose
We are
term,
good friends.
we are good friends to our listeners. Everything is not content.
Yeah.
This conversation with me and Rex and Zeno and Pepe, I think it is a good batch of hanging out. So you're welcome to, I'm going to say like 93% of the conversation we had over the course of like maybe 2.25 hours. You're getting a full hour 45 or hour 50 of that. I hope you really enjoy it.
Are you telling me that this episode of Accuracy Third is definitely a burn barrel, very off mission, not really talking about Burning Man with a couple of our weirdo friends?
We do eventually talk about Burning Man in real time in Meat Space when we were doing the interview. We started talking about Burning Man 42 minutes in. But there was so much gold before that point. That is all in this burn barrel. If you would like to just skip ahead to the Burning Man parts, those are going to start at around, I'm going to say like 36, 38 minutes. I'm not going to come back here and record whatever that timestamp is.
Beth doesn't sponsor or condone the content of this episode.
Yeah, well, hopefully you're going to get some emails from this episode. This is another you should email Beth at our inbox episode. This episode contains some additional information regarding Zeno's quitting Shade, recounted in Season 5, Burn Barrel 19, The Great Resignation.
Oh, wow. This is a burn barrel sequel.
Not a sequel, a sibling, perhaps a half-sibling. We just touch upon it. Eagle-eared listeners will know when it happens. So if you haven't heard that episode already, you probably should.
You should. It's a good episode.
It's a good episode, and it will give a bunch of context to some throwaway comments that are included in this burn barrel.
It's a spiritual sequel, as the fellas at Citations Needed say.
Yeah, but this is a spiritual sequel with tons of digressions and jokes and talking about media and horseshit. So enjoy this little chatteroo that Rex and I had with Zeno and our new friend and neighbor, Pepe.
Pepe.
I've been to survey. I've helped survey.
She can't lie.
I can talk about more about like what that looks like. I'm trying to think because my crew does a thing where a certain amount of us do sleep out there.
Mm-hmm.
And like weirdly,
Like for a job or just
fluffing.
like to rest?
for a job.
Well, and I think Reverend Plague,
Professor Plague.
Professor Plague.
Professor.
I'm sure he's
Did
also
mention-
a reverend.
Yeah.
Are
he
we
did-
not all reverends here? Are you a reverend?
No, but my mom is.
You are now.
That counts. So, Pepe,
Hey.
I'm realizing that I had forgotten that you were a fluffer, even though I thought of it like 10 minutes ago when you got here. But our listeners don't know that you're a fluffer
Yes.
or that your name is Pepe.
Yes.
Who are you and why?
Yeah, so Pepe, I'm one of those fun people where like my, I like to call it regular place. My regular place name is Pay. Like in my day-to-day, people call me Pay, which is short for Peyton, which I like.
Sure.
I just go by Pay, and then Pepe just kind of happened. The funny thing is like it happened when I went to work for Burning Man, but it happened before that too. So it's just like people hear Pay and they just want to do Pepe, I guess.
Yeah, 2 syllables, usually better than 1 syllable.
Well, and then later on, I was like, well, you can't have a 1-syllable name on the radio. So like,
right.
it was like my destiny was always Pepe. The fact that it happened before is just incidental. But like, even if it had waited until that point.
My name is literally Rex.
On the radio?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, I love 1-syllable
Rule
names on the
breakers.
radio because it's like, you rebel, you.
And it's much easier to double the pseudo vowel sound at the end of a 1-syllable word than it is a vaguely sloppy consonant like X.
Yeah.
Rex doesn't work.
Right. But pay.
Well, and also Rex is like Rex. Like it almost sounds like two syllables because it's Rex.
Rexa. You should have been Rexa on the radio.
I could be Rex on the radio.
See that driving you crazy in person so much. You're like, just please call me Rex.
That's the kind of radio shenanigans like I ride for.
Okay.
The stupid name back and forth and the over jokes, like that's like heroin for my heroin addiction.
Yeah.
The shots fired coupled with officer down is good. Shots fired, officer down.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh yeah, that's solely like off topic DPW. We do not do that on the actual work channel.
Yeah,
So there's
but-
one channel that they're like, you can go crazy on this one. Okay, just keep it on that one.
You're talking about off duty, right?
Off-duty, yeah.
Yeah, off duty is the best. I've come up with several names that have been used at various times because, like, also it really doesn't matter on that channel. You can go by any name you really want. And one of the names was Glizzy McGuire.
Very good.
You know, because we love hot dog things in the DPW sphere.
One friend of mine was get me out of here. So it was like, Zeno, get me out of here.
Very good.
Yeah.
Do you love hot dog things, or have you just learned to love them because that's really all that's coming out of the commissary?
You know what? I do not pretend to fully understand the hot dog lore and love of DPW, but it's like it is a consistent meme. Anytime anything hot dog comes up, I mean, Hot Dog Buddy had to have something to do with it, with the name Hot Dog Buddy.
Wait, who's Hot Dog Buddy? Was that Rust Out Buddy that he changed his name to Hot Dog Buddy?
Okay, so maybe maybe his name got eaten by the meme because straight up,
Well, the meme used to be that you would go to a rest stop and you'd have your rest stop buddy,
right?
and then there would be the paper sack that the rest stop buddy stood in the bathroom stall while they gave you a blowjob.
Right.
So there's two guys from Bisbee, Rest Stop Buddy and Paper Sack, and they both worked in the commissary.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Rest Stop Buddy got tired of that because Paper Sack left a long ass time.
Well, I don't know. The hot dog stuff just started happening. Like, I mean, I can say hot dog normally, but it's like when I'm eating a hot dog or a bunch of hot dogs around, I always like
Hot dog.
inevitably go, hot dog,
Hot dog.
hot dog, hot dog.
It's stuck in my head, and I don't know where it's from. I have no context for it.
No,
stuck
I
in my
don't.
head
It's
just
a
from that dumb
really,
radio.
No, you know what? I feel kind of like I don't know. My mind feels blown right now to the level in which I don't understand that meme, but just accept it as like DPW memery lore. We love hot dogs, anything hot dog related, hot dog art, weird hot dog stuff.
Well, and Struggles had the hot dog outfit that she actually gave
Yes.
birth in.
She's done a bunch of stuff in that. She's gone deep sea diving in the hot dog suit.
She went to Antarctica
She
to
gave
do science.
birth more than one
Yeah,
time.
twice.
Yes.
Same suit?
Same suit.
You'd hope so. Good
Was-
luck the first time.
That
did she get
has to
married
be
in
a
it?
differently shaped hot
I
dog
don't
suit
know.
than I'm imagining.
It's your very typical bought it from Party City, bought it from Spirit Halloween hot dog costume.
Big slit up the back. There's plenty of room.
Yeah.
But I am thrilled to find out that there is a hot dog meme going around DPW. This is the first, I believe, I'm hearing of that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. We definitely have a meme page dedicated to it because, you know, I guess it kept cluttering like the main like social media page for it. They're like, guys, just take
take
this
this?
out.
Yeah.
Take this somewhere else. I mean, it's like, you know, it's low key. I think it had like a height, and I think we're like on the lower end of it, but it's still very present. Plus, hot dogs are just funny. I mean, you put them in almost any situation. They're weird.
Everywhere.
They're funny.
Everyone, everywhere, all at once.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, little hot dog fingers.
Wait, was that in that movie?
Oh,
Hot dog
yeah.
fingers.
I'm terrible. I still haven't seen it. I know it's
Well,
good.
it's
Oh,
on the
man.
server.
It's classic.
Yeah.
It's a nearly perfect movie.
It-
I
agree.
deeply regret not seeing it in the theater. It was like one of those ones that I saw go by and I was like,
I'm sure it'll come back.
yeah.
And while being a spectacular movie, it's a small movie. You're not losing a lot if you're watching it like on a big TV rather than a big screen.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
There are some pretty neat visuals that could benefit from being a little big.
A little big. Yeah.
Well, we
A
have
lot of it happens during the cuts, though. Like it's got very, very good kung fu in it. But
Oh, cool. Which I appreciate. I should actually now that you say that, I should ask my dad because my dad's like a kung fu guy.
Oh, he'll love it.
Yeah, well, like maybe he's already seen it, so I'd love to like hear his take on it.
There's some real homages to some classic kung fu in it. There's like a quarter of a Jackie Chan sequence just dropped right in the middle of it. It's phenomenal.
Which, like, on a practical stunts level, always super impresses me. Seems super fun. I mean, anytime something like really fun is happening on like screen, even if it's just like separate from the plot itself, like just visually, if what happening is on the screen is cool, like right on. Anyway,
it is a lot of really cool, and it's almost entirely in camera. It's such a practical effects powerhouse.
yeah. Okay.
There's like one.
I'm moving it up the
It's
list.
very good at it.
We're in a world that just like inundates you with content.
No kidding.
Yeah, but some content is art.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I rebel sometimes by just consuming complete garbage or stuff I've already watched. I'm like, damn you for continuing to make interesting stuff. I refuse. I will watch YouTube. I will watch this show I've watched already 5 times.
Have you heard about cult documentaries?
Cult documentaries, like documentaries that have cult status or
No,
documentaries
documentaries
about
with cults in them. I mean, you should also watch American Movie, but we've been watching a lot of documentaries about cults.
I have seen that, but it's been a really long time.
It's incredible. Rex and Beth
that-
hadn't seen it. I got to show it to them for the first time.
Wait, remind me, isn't that about the guy making movies?
The guy who's trying to make a movie with his buddy who's like the most Silent Bob guy possible, and there's an incredible sequence in it where they're doing a special effect and he is trying to like cut through the back of an under sink kitchen cabinet so that he can slam his friend's head through it and do a special effect, and he just hasn't sawed through it enough, so he fully just bangs his friend's head and compresses his neck like 5 times.
Yeah, this is the one where he's like Coven.
Yeah,
and there's
Coven.
a whole
It's Coven, yes.
Coven. Yeah. Wait, where was he from again?
I'm going to say like Minnesota.
Minnesota.
That seems right.
Yeah. It's a cold, wet-looking movie.
Yeah. I know. It's been ages, but I do love that movie. Actually.
It's something else. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just such a whole person and character. Like he is himself, but then also you're like, you don't seem real.
He's the version of Kevin Smith that can't possibly make it because he's just a little bit too crazy to be able to get it done.
And maybe a little bit also living in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And not nearly as funny a writer.
Well, no, he wants to do serious and scary, you know? And if you're not witty, you know, that's not going to click as well.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks when people don't know that they're not witty. Because you can tell them, like, no, you just don't get it. Like, no,
I can take a hint,
witty.
Zeno.
Hey, buddy. I was making eyes at you because this is not talking about Burning Man whatsoever. And I was like, hey, aren't you the guy that keeps this thing on the rails?
Yeah. Try for a second layer, Rex, is the point.
I will say, though, about American Movie and that guy who I feel bad, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but
He's dead. He
Yeah.
died recently.
Well, it makes you wonder, what if he had gone to Hollywood and just done what like Steven Spielberg did and just like faked it until he made it? I don't think he was capable of that, but it's interesting to think about. It's like, could someone like that go past the wire, like just by being like, yeah, I'm supposed to be here?
They're making a third Boondock Saints.
Oh,
There's
my.
a second?
Not that we speak about.
That's a thing I learned about when I learned that there's a third coming out.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I think I watched Boondock Saints at your house
You
in New York.
absolutely did. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
that
had
was-
just got.
I have never been quite as offended by a movie as I was by Boondock Saints.
There was what?
It's like,
Yeah, man, go Unchained.
who gave this 15-year-old this budget?
Dude, he also has a band which is trying very hard to be Tool, while no one in the band is talented enough to be in Tool.
Yeah.
But it's like the only other band that I've ever heard that's just like, oh, you're just doing Tool.
Bless their hearts.
But Zeno makes a good point. We could
Right.
talk about Burning Man, or we can talk a bunch about movies and TV shows and music and stuff. I'm fine with that too.
I do have a lot of TV shows and movies stuff. Just
See?
locked and loaded, but that's just my brain.
I was just going to mention that 7M cult documentary we just watched, which is fucking crazy.
Yep.
Because it's happening right now.
But they don't stop.
Like super ongoing.
It's the Mother God that's happening.
Oh, the Mother God stuff. I know about that.
Oh, that one was fun.
Wrapped
Well, this
in,
guy's not blue.
wrapped in Christmas
Yes.
lights, colloidal silver.
Yep. She went full colloid.
I might have had a coworker I'm going to be specifically non-specific at Burning Man, who stands by colloidal silver.
Ooh,
Sure. The thing. But in their defense, it wasn't like a consume this every day type of deal that I believe Mother God was rocking before her untimely passing.
I think it was exactly
She wasn't
timely.
rocking it even once a day. Like, there's one horrific scene in it where, like, she's not doing well. She hasn't been eating. She's gone full colloidal. And as she's talking, there are 3 or 4 different cultists that come up to her and give her, like, a shot glass of colloidal silver over the course of, like, a 25-minute interview. It is a horrifying amount of blue to imbibe.
Yeah, they sell that shit in little jars, and you're supposed to dilute a drop full. And she's like drinking these little jars.
Yeah, if
You can get addicted to anything.
If anyone doesn't know, if you consume an excess amount of colloidal silver, you will start to turn quote unquote silver. But the way that translates on your skin is that you turn like a bluish color. Like this can happen even if you eat too many carrots. You can turn orange.
Like a superhero.
Like border. I mean, it's odd.
Is that
it is.
what's up with Trump? How do you eat too many carrots just on your face?
I don't think they put any carrots in
That's a
McDonald's.
slather.
Or Diet
It's not
Coke.
ingesting.
There's a lot of Diet Coke.
I wish Diet Coke made me just like a little bit oranger because I do get into that from time to time.
I'm a Diet Pepsi man myself.
There you go. Okay,
If I am going
okay.
to have a soda, it will be that soda.
I was like, oh, I'm going to be judged.
No.
All right, we have 2 votes to go back to Burning Man stuff.
Do we?
Fine.
Oh, you
you
said I
guys
made a
voting?
good point. I don't know.
I absolutely want to talk about Burning Man and then watch Barbarian.
Okay, Pepe, tell us about how you ended up in our cult.
Yeah. Well, I love that you put it like that because it
She was
really.
going to say
I was okay. Back me up here, Zeno.
I just backed her up.
Okay. Well,
I thought you guys walked over.
she
it's
literally
fun for me if I ask you to, and now you're making it less fun.
she was like, I'm going to talk about how Burning Man is a cult
I
at
mean,
her house.
I just in a positive way.
Well, yeah.
in a good
I didn't
way.
say negative.
No,
Okay,
I
that's
know.
just
I'm
my
not.
tone. Okay, everyone thinks I'm insulting them because
This is moving away from banter with you and me telling the story of how I got into it. Okay, in a positive way. Well, just because. Okay, so this year I am going out. This will make my 8th Burning Man in Nevada. And it'll make my 7th year working for the Department of Public Works of Burning Man. And I have the fun, unique experience of my first year ever. Like, I jumped into DPW immediately, like, somehow, which I can talk about. But I just mean, like, there are a number of us out there who, like, experienced Burning Man first by working out there. I don't know. Maybe you guys have talked to them. I don't know. Have you talked to anyone who has that experience?
We've talked to a lot of folks.
Sure.
Yeah, we've
There's like one
definitely
or
had
two.
people who jump right into it their first year. The kind of defining question is, did you go to Burning Man and then jump in with DPW, or
Right.
did you get yanked to Burning Man by DPW?
So that's what's extra special. It was like, I really wanted to go to Burning Man. I actually, like, I was supposed to go when I was 18, and then it ended up not happening. And I was just talking about wanting to go to Burning Man, and this guy approached me at my job and was like, well, like, would you be willing to volunteer? Would you be willing to come out for 2 months? So yeah, I was already in, I was out actually fairly early postseason for a first year person. My first year, I actually saw Fence. Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, like I was out for Fence Day, and it was great. The only reason why I was there, I wasn't even like quote unquote supposed to be there, but I didn't have a car, so I needed to have a ride out. And I had already met someone, this guy named Rumor.
A likely
came out
story.
with rumor.
Yes, Zeno. I came out with Rumor, and actually, it was like,
I love rumor.
but
I love rumor.
the
He's
laughter,
very specific.
The laughter is warranted because Rumor is a big, goofy man.
He's very goofy.
He's a goofy guy. And yeah, like I had met him at Oregon Country Fair, which, like, okay, mind you, I was approached by somebody at my job about working Burning Man, and that actually led me to working at a couple of other festivals before I went to Burning Man. This person.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were vetting you.
I'm like, hypothetically, I'm like, no. Like, the first festival I worked at, he just told me to like show up. It was like this, it was an event where it was like someone's like, it was like his and his roommates like backyard camp out party that then got really big. And so they're like, okay, well, like, let's take it this property and actually do a festival. And it was a complete shit show. And you can tell because I had literally never worked at an event well, that's kind of not true. I had worked at some expos growing up as a kid, but for all intents and purposes, I was a 20-year-old girl with like no legitimate festival experience. And they stuck me at the front gate with a radio for people coming in. So it was like people showing up to this festival and me. So like they told me they were supposed to be there. I was like, cool.
Yeah, but you seem like you could figure that out. I'd give you a radio and put you at the gate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's you know what? And honestly, that's a little bit of a pattern of experience through my life. I don't know how I give off that vibe. I think it's just because like I'm really nice and reasonable and like not
Direct eye contact. You make sense after 5 sentences.
You don't.
I mean, you make sense before that too, but like I give people 5 sentences.
You don't visibly cringe when somebody says, "I'm going to need a volunteer."
No, I'm usually like for what though? But only because I've learned in years past I might have been like, sure.
By asking that question, you have already consented to volunteering in some fashion.
I like to help.
In general, when having events and stuff like that, when you see people who are having fun as a volunteer manager, like I approach those people and I'm just like, hey, you're having a good time. What do you do? What do you want to do? Hey, I do this thing. You want to do this thing with me?
Yeah.
Do you have any friends? I need to find like 65 more people in 5 weeks.
Hey, guys, you seem to be having a good time. You know what's a real good time? Whitewashing a fence. You guys want to whitewash a fence? I won't even charge you.
I, as a child, painted a fence white, and I can tell you all
It's some bullshit.
and the audience, it takes time.
Oh, yeah.
It is annoying. And if you choose to do it in the best time for drying paint, which is summer, it is hot. And I don't recommend it. But also, sometimes a fence just needs to be painted.
Yeah, if you don't make it out of locust.
That's why you need a Huck Finn and a Tom Sawyer.
Yeah. But you describing approaching people that look like they're having a good time, like I really get that. And it's hilarious how long it took me to like get that. Because for years I was like, why don't my friends want to come out to Nevada for 2 months and work in the desert?
It's baffling, right?
I just I really loved it that much immediately. And yeah, I had worked at a couple other festivals, but like Burning Man was my festival. Like the amount of time I have spent at Burning Man, the event, working for Burning Man, does not compare to any of my other events. Although I do have some relationship. I have a very small relationship with Oregon Country Fair. And then also I have a relationship with Lightning in a Bottle, which that one's actually pretty fun. But both are different from each other and extremely different from Burning Man in
While having
lot
a
of ways.
strong vein of burners helping produce it, running through it.
Yeah, there's for sure the cross-pollination. The cross-pollination is so strong that this year when I was at Lightning in a Bottle, which I haven't been at since 2018, there were mutual friends I know through Burning Man that were like, we need to come up with a patch for people that do this event and Burning Man, which is like always the sign. Because they have that for Oregon Country Fair. It's like a flaming peach. But it's like
Venn diagram with the 2 symbols.
No, flaming peach, man.
I mean, like, you know, we're talking about Venn diagrams. We're talking about cross-pollination. Let's be real. It's
Incestuous.
It's traveling carnies is what it is. You join the circus, you see another circus, you're like, well, I can do that. Like
Incest carnies, we'll call them.
But yeah, I came out for Fence Day in 2013. I did 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then I was like, wow, I don't feel good. My life isn't good. I need to take a break. I took 18 off. And then I came out in 19 with an art project. The group is called House of Strange Rituals, and the project was called The Doll House. It had a full plexiglass wall on one of the sides of a Victorian house. And it had a bunch of creepy doll art in it. And it was like a woman-led art collective. It was really fun.
Nice.
But I also was like, oh man, going to Burning Man's really hard. It's like, wow. A lot of things are given to me when I work that make my life easier.
Like water.
Well, you know,
Like there's just coolers of water around.
yes. Yeah, I mean, my job, you know, the funny thing is, though, I learned that there's like, there's a lot of crews that I find fluffer adjacent for different reasons, like either culture-wise or just like, I don't know, certain factors. I learned that like artists do get water. They get a water tank and water, but like they don't see us. We're not
they have
out
to
there.
manage it themselves.
No, water crew comes out and gives them water.
Oh, sure.
So like they get fluffed, but like from like a giant
That's
tanker.
not a real fluffing.
It's a giant tanker fluff.
Can you?
That's a tanking.
Have
It's not the same. No, I'm not saying it's the same.
has anyone described fluffers or?
Oh,
fluffers?
yeah.
We had the
Job
pleasure of having a fluffer
I don't
on
think
to
so.
tell.
I
No,
think
we
this
have
is the
not.
first fluffer. So
Is it?
I think so.
We were actually describing fluffers in particular in their contrast to
I don't suck
gate
dick.
life support.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there was a kerfuffle between Shade and Fluffers because we made a stencil that said
Kerfluffle, you would say?
Yes, kerfuffle. Because Shade Crew made a lot of stencils, so we would just take beer boxes and X-Acto knives after we're done with work and just kind of make snarky things and just spray paint stuff. And one
Modern
of them was,
Whitlin, I call it.
Yes, scrimshaw, if you will. It is, and you will. And so one of them was ESD is the new fluffers because so many people had to go to ESD to get bagged for sailing.
Ooh.
And we're like, what? We don't need fluffers. You just dehydrate and go to ESD. ESD is the new
I
fluffers.
wish.
And
I
then,
wish
dude,
Fluffers would do
fluffers
that.
rolled up on us like deep. They were like, we need the stencil and we need you to cover up every fucking thing you tagged with that because there is no new fluffers. We are fluffers. You take that shit down. And we were like, oh, yeah, actually, I do see how that.
Yeah, we overstepped there. Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
we're gonna do that. And we like handed over the stencil and we covered everything up.
Okay, but this plays into a piece of swag that I want to make that has a horse with a DPW vest on it, and it says you can bring them water, but you can't make them drink.
Yes.
Nice.
Because it is true. Like I've had to like self-regulate my emotional response because I'm going to a spot and they're just not drinking the water. And weirdly, those spots, like half the time, they'll also have like a lot of special requests. And I'm like, look, the main function of my job is to bring you ice and water, and you're like literally not using it. And I'm so confused why you have feedback about that. Just drink the water and it'll get redone. I don't know what to tell you.
Do you have any insight into how like fluffers got started or like what?
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
concept of all
What
that?
is the fluff lore?
Okay. So I want to talk a little bit how Fluffers got started by telling the story of one of my coworkers. My coworkers whose name I definitely remember. Shoot.
Not
well,
this.
she's
Fluffer Jim.
no. It's I keep wanting to say Savvy, but it's not that, and it's not Suki.
Saucy.
No. Okay, I'll think about it later. But
Schmitty.
all that matters
Sharon.
is
We'll edit it in post.
yeah. It's fine. No, just leave this.
Do it live. Do it
It's
fucking.
fine.
Do it live.
Just leave me all in, just exposed. I mean, unless I'm being boring, but I try not to be. Okay, but anyway, she like worked with DPW and helped with fluffing in 2006. And then she took, like, she just, because of life, she didn't do Burning Man at all for 10 years and came back in 2016. And it was so fascinating because at that point, that was my third year into fluffing. And it was so fascinating to talk to her because she talked about two very different fluffing. Like, she was like, oh, yeah, like, back in the day, we were in these, like, minivans. Like, I'm going to put a big, like, allegedly, like, giving people whippets while they were, like, at work. And like everywhere you went, there would be coolers that were dirty and full of warm beer. If you saw a 5-gallon igloo, it would be filthy and empty. And yeah, like original Fluffers' main function actually was just to go to Empire every day and get, we'll say supplies, but mostly beer.
And whippets. I bet the whippets
Did
are
they sell
expensive
them
in
there
Empire.
back-
I don't. You can get.
I don't-
It's an empire.
And there's a little shed out behind.
Shed?
Yeah.
Wait, I need to know about this shed.
Like, so it's 447 hits 445.
Are they always
Oh,
there,
yeah, no,
or is it
yeah,
Yeah,
like-
you take a right.
That is
and
not
then
Empire.
an immediate
That is a
left.
schlep.
You're in Nixon, man.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's way.
You
that's
can get
beyond-
whippets.
Oh
in
wait, no,
Nixon.
but Nixon is
beyond
closer than Reno.
Yes.
This is useful.
Yeah, I'm also completely full of shit.
Also, you can order it online and just have it delivered to
Is-
the office.
No.
Not anymore.
Not
No.
anymore.
Not until allegedly things I heard Gate ruined it. Maybe because a pallet showed up, and maybe because like heavy equipment had to get involved with accepting a mail delivery, and they're like, "This is not really chill, y'all." And
This is clinking.
It's
way
big
too
a scale.
much.
Too big a scale to be doing that at.
okay,
That's how you get nabbed.
if you have to use a piece of heavy equipment to accept a piece of mail, I don't think it's that weird to be like, "What is this?"
Right. Yeah.
They're like, "Is it a car engine?"
Nope.
It doesn't sound like a car engine.
This is for food service.
It's
Yeah.
lag bolts.
A lot of whipped cream. We're
I
doing
do-
a decadent dessert.
I do love
for-
dessert.
Yeah, we're doing whipped cream swimming. Non-dairy creamer will be here in 2 days. Why do you ask?
Look, it's very hot in the desert, and compressed gases are very
does
effective at
cool
cooling
out.
things
Yeah.
down.
I used to take used Whippet canisters and drop them into my whiskey bottle before I knew what machine oil was.
Oh.
So I was like, it'll chill my whiskey. And I got like 6 or 7 of them in before someone came over and was like, oh, you should really not do that. And I was like, yeah, my throat does feel a little weird.
I've also worked resto a bunch of years, and I did find, I don't know if people know this, but the Burning Man site is not the exact same site every year. My understanding, could be wrong, but my understanding is that it rotates from 3 different sites. And so I actually, during one resto, mooped a Whippet canister that was like super corroded over, like very old, possibly from 4th of July from 2 years ago or from a Burning Man like 3 years ago. But it was all corroded over, but I was looking at it. I'm like, I think it's still good.
you check. You're like,
I'm
solid.
I'm
All right.
looking at the little thing. I'm like, the end is corroded. I'm like, but it sure does look full to me. And sure enough, I pop
That's
her in
vintage.
my thing.
That's
yeah,
vintage. Whippet.
It survived. So for me,
Paleo Whippet.
it pays to moop sometimes.
It's true.
Oh, I've found so much acid and cocaine mooping.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were talking about the origins of fluffing.
Well, okay, so like there's an early version where they're just going for supply runs every day. And then over time, it became a service to the working crews of Black Rock City. And I mean, beyond the Department of Public Works, although that, like, we are a part of the Department of Public Works, they're our main focus, but we also service ESD, we service rangers at certain times, we service gate at certain times, there's so many people, we even man base
Base is DPW, despite what they say.
right, but like some people might not really, they might think it's a separate thing. I don't know, I'm just making it clear. Like airport, oh my gosh, I've had some crazy times at the airport.
Ooh, tell us about your weird encounters at the airport.
Well, first of all, it's gotten better, but for a long time, it was one of the worst places to fluff, at least during around event week, because our service road would just be full of hippies trying to get a plane ride. And so, but I would do this thing where not all of our vehicles, okay, by the way, we're in these big box trucks that are stocked to the gills with 5-gallon igloo water containers full of clean water, ice, usually beverages and snacks, and just supplies, just stuff that would be useful in a pinch on a work site. So basic medical
Band-Aids,
supplies,
sunscreen,
Dental hygiene stuff, butt plugs.
tampons.
Our supplies do get, they vary. Because the majority of it is donated stuff. It's at the end of any given year, we're donated stuff, and that's be what we have. So that'll expand our what we have potentially. Anyway, but the airport is just super crowded with all these people. I am in this box truck. It's one of the smaller ones, and it's one of the newer ones. So it still had a horn. So I would do this thing, and mind you, you can't drive over 5 miles per hour in the city, and that includes us. That includes our vans. And so I'm creeping along probably at 3 miles per hour. And it's the type of horn where you have a little switch.
Nice.
And so I just get really close, and then I'm like, and they would always jump.
Yep.
Now, I guess it's whatever. It's funny. I'm a giant van. How do you not see me coming towards you? How can you not realize that I need to go through? I'm sorry.
The second you get away from roads and streets for like 2 or 3 days, your brain reverts to this beautiful state where you're not looking for traffic. But as someone who has had to drive during the event, it is so fucking obnoxious to like need to get to a place because of work and just know that like I got to leave 90 minutes ahead of time to go 5 blocks.
Yeah, and pedestrians are one thing. They're annoying, but honestly, it's bikers that really have gotten under my skin over the years. Because I drove for Fluffers 5 out of the 7 years that I have worked with them. Technically, my first year ever on DPW, I actually worked with waste management. I worked in the commissary with commissary trash. Mm-hmm. But like since I had shown up early, somehow Fluffers found me and they tried to poach me, allegedly.
Did it take?
I don't think you need to say allegedly on that. Like allegedly on the drug use, that's fine.
No, I know. I'm just saying
Dude,
I'm
we
saying it
poach
to
each
be
other
funny.
all the time. Like,
it was.
Crews will be like, that is a star, and I need them over here first. I need them to imprint on me.
It was flattering to have an attempted poaching like within 2 days of showing up. Like I was like, oh. I'm like, wow.
I'm the belle of the ball.
I'm used to being ignored. And now I'm here where people are like, wow, you really want to
Basic
work.
competence? My God, you're working right now.
You are wasted on telling staff members which trash goes in which can. Nope, popsicle sticks don't burn this year.
Oh my gosh. No. Well, like, so at other events, my main experience is with waste management. Mm-hmm. So Burning Man is this fun thing where I don't have to care about that other than like what's on my van. But people do get sorting anxiety. It's like,
oh yeah,
it's kind of hilarious. Like I'm not laughing at people. I just like the fact that it can like persist as a condition.
It's reverse shopping.
Yes.
Because you want to like collect them all together and throw them away at the same time. But you just have to recognize like you're going to go through the bins. You're going to have some stuff left on your plate. You're going to throw that out. You're going to throw like your paper plate into where the dishwashing goes. Then you got to reach in there and put it into compostable.
Well, and it's like it's somebody standing there too, right? Like I know that
now it's like 4 people having like a music party,
like dukes and
judging
duchesses of the garbage.
Yes. They just want to help. Mm-hmm. It's okay. If you do something wrong, you're literally giving them something to do.
I might be able to get Gravyfoot on here because he actually started the compost.
Yes. He was my first boss.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That was my
Gravyfoot's
first
amazing.
manager.
A Gravyfoot because he was kicking compost and he would get sauce in his boot. Mm-hmm. So he would have Gravyfoot from compost.
Yeah. That is disgusting.
Yes, very much. He was
more than just name dropping.
Yes,
I'm very good. I like that. Name dropping into a story. Fabulous.
So he had a box that he built too, which was a phenomenon on DPW for a while. Like before they were providing as much housing as they do these days, people would just like build their own, and there was this
he inspired me to build mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah. Shanty shacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But his said, like, in big spray painted letters on the side, Gravy Shack, which I just always loved.
Nice.
Was the idea of walking, like, Gravy Shack?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got poutine in there? Or, like, what?
Nope. Just sauce in my boot.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He had, I forget why I had to, like, get help from him on this, but I think maybe I had just shown up or something, and I don't know, I was just I don't know what happened. But anyway, he had a truck with, like, a, covered back, and like it was big enough that you could have a little bed in there, and I was in some kind of situation where I needed like shelter and a bed to stay in, and he called it the coffin. It was just like pretty. I was like, here I am next to the Gravy Shack in this like truck coffin bed, being like, I need to get my camp together.
Yep.
So waste management is what I've worked at most other events, but I'm so glad that at Burning Man I do fluffing, which is it's essentially its own brand of not catering.
Catering to.
It's care.
Yeah.
Care for people that don't
Craft-
much care about themselves.
Craft
Services.
Mm-hmm.
Craft services.
Well, because I remember in 02, 03, we would leave from the ranch with an igloo in a truck. And then we would take a hard turn and the igloo would tip over. And then we just didn't have water for the day.
Yeah.
And this person, Fluffer Nips, was like, we should probably fix that.
Yeah.
Let's make a crew of people that just like takes water to cruise, especially because Shade, like we just go out to the middle of fucking nowhere before anyone's there, and like we can't take our work truck back to get water because then we're not doing work. So it's
Well, and also in some of those early years, my understanding, because my first year was 2013, but I had heard about like some major sicknesses going around.
Oh yeah,
there was
monkeypox.
Like monkeypox here. Sounded really traumatizing to a lot of people,
and very funny for the rest of us.
I think actually, if I'm remembering,
There's a lot of porta potty videos.
I can't remember if it was this year or last year. And monkeypox made a reappearance at Burning Man. Yeah, was it last year?
Well, so the original monkeypox, it was a joke because monkeypox is a real thing.
Yeah, it was like
But this was
conjunctivitis,
just
right?
This was just like a normal, just filthy living conditions.
Yeah.
It is the normal vomiting that you get from that. It wasn't actually legitimate
Meningitis.
It wasn't.
No, the original one was not legitimately monkeypox. So we just called it that because we were making fun
Because
of
everyone
it.
got the pox.
Yeah,
But-
because
but
we were
then
just making fun of it.
Last year there was a monkeypox outbreak.
Yes.
uh,
As far
in
as I
the
know, there
US,
was an
and
actual monkeypox. Yes.
There wasn't an outbreak. There was like one identified case at the burn.
I normally trust you on things, but I am actually
Oh
going
my
to have
God.
to cross-reference and fact check this.
Are you?
It was told to me that it was actually monkeypox the first time because monkeypox makes you super sick.
And there are shrimp on the playa.
There
saw
are shrimp
some
on the
video.
playa, but never.
I saw some video. I know
You
what I
can be
saw.
friends with Zeno, but like, don't play your hand too open with Zeno. He doesn't need the information
It's
that you just
way
generally trust
too
things
late.
he says.
It's way too late. We've been friends for like
This
8
is actually our
years.
dynamic.
I get it.
Yeah.
I just learned a little bit more about those playa shrimp.
Yeah.
About them not being actually shrimp at all. But more importantly, those fuckers have 3 eyes.
Yeah. Well, and little claws. If you go out there barefoot,
Aw.
they will grab your toes. They're meat eaters.
I mean, I could use some exfoliation. I've heard of that being a thing. Will they exfoliate my feet?
Yeah, just like the little
Their
fish
teeth
in
can't be
the
that big.
in the
Tubs.
tubs.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it. Yeah, it's just the tub.
Yeah, in
Oh.
the tubs.
The problem is it's the desert, so they're scarce. You have to like sweep up a big pile.
We need to throw out some
of
chum.
exfoliation.
You need to
going.
throw out chum to attract them, and then put your foot in with the chum.
Whatever
and
you
then
say,
they're
chum.
going to exfoliate.
I need to find every playa shrimp boil and just see if they mean a playa shrimp boil or just a shrimp boil on the playa.
Mhm.
Like, I am so thirsty.
Well, you should have
Yeah.
something to drink.
I don't have a
Do you want some whiskey?
thing. No.
Intermission. Or intermezzo.
Intermission. Here we go.
Pretty stoked about the Fallout TV show.
It was shockingly good.
Yeah. I had middling to low standards, and it blew it out of the fucking park.
Yeah. Even after seeing like some promo material, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like the way this looks.
I was like, oh, well, the promo is just going to show the best parts anyway.
But man,
Nope.
they nailed it.
Yeah,
It's
they
so
did.
good.
Just the snarky, just the attitude. It's fucking perfect. Do you play much Fallout?
I didn't play any of the early ones, 1 and 2.
I'm thinking about actually trying 1 and 2 now.
I tried 1, I think, at some point. I got it off GOG, and it was just a little too slow paced for my contemporary brain.
I'm a patient person. I like sitting for 8 hours doing one thing and not having a damn person interrupt me.
I do a lot of that too. It just didn't, like, the story hadn't really gotten moving at the end.
Is
of my
it
first play
too
session.
like sandboxy? Like you had to like find the thing to move the plot, or
No, it's just it's a early 90s isometric RPG, so the pace at which information is delivered and events happen is not fast at all.
I hear that.
Well, when I saw that, do you watch a fair amount of YouTube or were you just watching YouTube when I showed up?
I watch an immense amount of
So
YouTube.
H Bomber guy?
Oh, great. Yeah, I love that guy.
I watch a little bit of H-Bomber.
Well, just if you ever, I mean, it depends on how you interact with games and like what you plan to do with gaming in the future. But he has great videos about Fallout that are extremely entertaining.
Fully agree.
Yes, like
He's like, Fallout 3 is garbage, and this is why. Fallout New Vegas is perfect. This is why.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 is good.
And he references
why-
the other games a lot
he does.
he does like a full critique of it. He does really great video game content. I am not much of a gamer, but I do watch a lot. I do watch a lot of YouTube about games, which satisfies. I always loved watching my friend. I always was friends with nerds and my siblings. Like they all played games, and I loved hanging out and watching them because I love all the effort that's put into them. Like I appreciate that. I appreciate the art, the stories, and so sometimes watching YouTube content about it is
Well, I should introduce you to my friend Krug Smash, who does Dwarf
What you
Fortress
should play as a non-gamer. My number one recommendation for any gamer or non-gamer to play is Disco Elysium.
Yes.
okay.
It
That
has-
actually, Daddy Issues played that, and it hooked her.
Yeah.
She's not a gamer at all.
it's so good.
And she played it, and she was having so much fun with it. Yeah.
It has zero skill content. It's basically a choose your own adventure. But
It's interesting, and it has a good story, and the art is cool.
yeah, the aesthetic is beautiful and haunting and sad and
Love
mean.
being sad.
Yeah, I will keep it in mind. I'll check it
So
out.
good.
I did some amount of gaming, but you know what I really got into? I really got into The Sims.
Oh yeah,
That's great.
The Sims was awesome.
Which I think actually has like played into my like working with like digital design programs, which are like weirdly remind me of The Sims. And like, or at least I appreciate what The Sims did more because I kind of understand like how complicated it was to program. But actually their PSP game was pretty good too, and it like wasn't like The Sims. It was more like it was more of a role play style story where you're like figuring stuff out, but I don't know.
Well, and that's where Dwarf Fortress is the best thing ever.
I know.
Is
I
it's
love
basically
Dwarf
it's
Fortress.
The Sims and Minecraft.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes. What's in the cup? Water. Thank you.
Do you want something else?
She has water now.
No, water's great.
See?
I would take a little tiny sip of whiskey if you wanted to share, but I don't know. I feel
You're a fluffer. You seem safe.
thanks.
You're welcome.
I brushed my teeth before coming here.
I brushed
She
my
did
teeth
it
this
took
morning.
forever. That's why we're late.
The mic appreciates it.
Day to day as a fluffer, how does your day start?
Can I-
How does it go?
Yeah, so I mentioned the giant box trucks. We are like on any given day, we have the exact number is either 5 or 6, maybe 7. We have these big box trucks that we stock with 5-gallon jugs of water, snacks, ice. So
How early do you have to get up to do that?
that's what I was gonna say. Is the thing about Fluffers is that so there's a morning meeting at 7:30 every day for everyone.
Sure enough.
DPW.
And some of us who were just DPW adjacent.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone who's going to this dang meeting, that's definitely super important and never superfluous.
You get to say hello to Dave X in the morning.
If you lost your knife
love
the
doing that.
night before, you get to bring it up to everyone and say, I lost my knife. If you see it, please give it back to me.
I have certain jokes that I just like always make every year, and I love making the joke about reading my diary entry at the front. I was like, it's only 5 pages long. I think you're all going to get a lot out of it.
My favorite part is when people announce the parties this evening and they're
Yeah.
competing with each other.
Fully.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to choose between square dancing and hip hop. And you're like, wow.
Can't we just like sit on a filthy couch someplace?
It was exactly
Well,
the competing parties I was thinking of.
Well, like, no, you've really hit on something there because you're just basically picking the background to sitting on a filthy couch somewhere. So that's the beauty of it is like, you're like, you might actually be conflicted. You're like, oh, do I want to sit on a filthy couch at Oculus or do I want to sit on a filthy couch at this random spot near,
Jub.
yeah.
I mean Oculus, but not because of the hip hop.
Yeah.
No, Oculus is the boat party. Yeah, rock.
Yacht rock. Yeah.
Oh God,
That's my
yeah, not
friend.
first camp. I don't go there because I don't go to first camp.
Fluffers actually have.
I go to first camp to take their stuff.
It makes me uncomfortable.
The one gift they got from first camp was rotten watermelon
Well,
for my crew. And then they came back and was like, oh, we heard the watermelon was rotten. We're really sorry. Here's some beer. We're like, yeah, could you have
Yeah.
just done the beer at the first fucking thing?
Yeah, who fucking told you we need
Yeah,
fruit?
we don't need fucking
Yeah,
watermelon.
they have fruit in commissary.
well, yeah.
I don't prefer it.
It's just like, you gave this to us because you don't want to eat it. Why do you think you want to eat it?
Right.
That's like a classic Exodus move. Well, there was also the year that first camp, they were like, we'll send a donation to Calexis. And it spoke loudly of what they thought the level of things that we got at Calexis were, what they thought of us. Because it was literally the bottom dregs of their bar that looked like several years old, were like dusty and like spray painted on. And it was like all plastic bottle liquor that was like partially full, which we don't even accept at Calexis.
Yeah. It has to be sealed, guys. We're not going to get roofied. Well, again.
Yeah.
It was fun the first 5 times. We're done with it.
Yeah.
Not by accident, anyway.
Yeah, there's a difference between the Calexidus booze and the confiscated booze. The confiscated booze, we very much may get roofied.
You know, we're just out here trying our best. The people putting roofies in booze, the people accepting it. You know, some people would be like, thanks. Like, jokes on, I don't know, both of us, because I'm about to have a great time with this.
Yeah, and you were going to have one.
Nap time for me.
Like, yeah, I'm going to go home and see if I get lucky by myself.
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
you just do enough uppers or caffeine to just power through.
just the idea of the opportunity to get to forget who I was.
Yeah, I just might rate myself and forget that I did.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's out.
Yeah.
Thank you to our patrons on Patreon who get to hear our best selves saying our best things.
Yeah,
Patrons, we could not
roofies
do it
and
without you.
Israeli Adderall.
You know,
Qualcomm makes that?
this is why you gotta have parties to friend. You have to have friends to party.
Wow. Wow.
No, you have to have parties
Yeah.
to friend. That is
Yeah,
the
your
fucking-
parties to friend.
That
now.
is it.
It's both. It's
That's
parties,
a radio handle.
Parties to friend and friends to party. I'm just saying, you know, have a buddy. Have a buddy. Look out for you. Yikes.
Parties to friend for turnaround.
I don't know if I didn't have this party, I wouldn't have any friends.
You'd have some friends. They wouldn't be so persistent or cyclical.
I don't know.
Well, like, do you have any more, you know, quote unquote normie friends?
Not really.
I do. They're cool, but they don't get it.
How could you?
Like,
Why would you? When you start explaining it out loud, go to the desert for an extended period of time. They're like, why? They're like, and it costs how much?
I had
not a ton when I started, and when I heard that it was in the middle of nowhere in the desert, I was just like, of course.
And
Yeah.
and
No,
you,
that
We can
sounds
be
that sounds
free.
disgusting. It sounds like no one would ever want to go there. The only people that will be there are people that want to be there.
Yep. Or who have
That
guests.
is great.
you're like, but there's giant art. They're like, yeah, but like, there's art here.
Horseshit. There are pictures on walls, which is different.
I mean, there's some really great murals in Oakland.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and you
spray
can
paint
still come
over
back
it.
to it.
Yeah.
Like
If you
it's not an
spray-
either or. You can
If you
have
spray
both.
paint over our art at Burning Man, you have just spray painted humongous art. You can't cover it up.
I feel like I don't really think this, but I feel like I clearly don't want to talk about my job because we keep talking about stuff that I'm having way more fun with. But we got very derailed. Fluffers have to get ice before this super early morning meeting. And then
Jesus.
yeah, we're throwing ice. I mean, I was chronically late a lot of the time during the years but they always knew I would show up. So they would do this thing where they would either just warm up my van, or there were even at least one time where they not only warmed up my van but took it to the office, threw all the ice in the back of it, and it was just sitting there running, waiting for me.
Nice.
They're like, she's gonna show up.
They pre-fluffed for you.
Yeah,
Fluffing the fluffers.
it was also a very pointed way of being like,
Hey, show up.
can you like no? You think anyone likes? Oh, you think anyone likes being here this early? You think that we like having to work more because you're not here? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Well, there was like a few times that Shade did a few things because, like, if there's too much wind, we can't actually put shade cloth up because, like,
Yeah.
it becomes a sail and it pulls people off ladders and it's super dangerous.
Any excuse not to work, right?
Hey, it's a living.
If there's ever wind on this flat plane,
As a fluffer, I can see shade works.
we have pulled Shade in 25 mile per hour winds. If it gets more than that, people start actually falling off ladders.
it's only
so-
funny because you're like the hardest working crew on planet.
And yeah, now we absolutely have that title now that
At least at a minute.
Blackthorn has admitted it.
At least at the minimum, like at any given place they're going to, it's guaranteed there is zero shade. And then as soon as it is there, they leave. Like, it's funny that they're called shade, since at least at the beginning phase, they're just constantly creating it and then running from it. Like I have seen my friends turn so tan on that crew.
So also like, so as a shade crew, like we all have to do things at the same time. Like you can't have one person go take a break.
Well,
'Cause,
everyone
like-
else shades.
Right. We all need to do it because there's a lot of hands that need to be on things when we raise stuff. And so as a manager, when I saw the fluffer truck rolling up right before we needed to raise shit, I would fucking get on comm and be like, no, just fucking no, back off.
I can
10 minutes, man. Just let me get this in the ground.
I can confirm.
Like, and I would like wave and be like, dude, no, not right now. And I would see the fluffer truck just like slow down and just like kind of back up and just roll. And I'm like, dude, we don't need a break right now.
You're
You're
gonna
gonna
do
fucking
a loop first.
Yeah.
we really would. Like
Yeah.
I have literally, I mean, sometimes there's a stop nearby, so you just go do that one and then circle back around. But I also have literally just like gone around the block because someone needs an extra second. There's definitely other crews that like need us to not be there, which is a hilarious like aspect of any job, is like that, like, you know, you're the, you know, quote unquote like break fairies, right? We show up, we provide shade. Like we like literally
In the form of just a box truck that you can sit next to.
Yeah, part of our training is to be like, okay, where's the sun? I'll tell you those afternoon hours around lunch can get really annoying because I'm like, where is the shade? I'm
And
like,
then people are going to crawl under your truck and then you're going to drive over them.
well, yeah. I mean, that's more of a resto thing.
Well, that did happen.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yee.
Thanks for calling us out. Gee, one
was that-
time. It was one time. No,
Was that
I was just
Fluffers?
kidding. I actually don't know.
It was just general truck maintenance. Like, that was just-
You made it sound like it was us.
No, anyone that drives a truck needs to be. Anytime you turn the key, you need to actually walk around your entire truck and make sure there's no one under it.
I
Because
Shop is the
literally,
new fluffers.
Yeah, always check your undercarriage.
Oh my gosh.
If you've got a baseball bat in your driver's seat, you can just bang the chassis. That'll usually get him scurrying.
Weirdly, like,
sometimes not.
Are-
You need to put eyes on it.
because we're in box trucks, they're a little bit closer to the ground, so I feel like that's part of why we don't deal with that as much. And then the other thing is too is that all of our vehicles also have a bunch of holes drilled in the bottom, and it's because we carry ice and water, so we like need a way for that water to get out of the vehicle.
Get slippery real quick.
It tends to like discourage people, but then also you get like tons of comments over the season, like not every day, but I would say, I don't know, every 3 days somebody's like, you're leaking something. I'm like, yeah, it's
water.
water. And they're like, well, you have to deal with that. And I'm like,
No, it's water.
What am I gonna do? Towel it up?
The sun will deal with it.
there are people that got very, was it last year? I don't know. We had some Earth Guardians like that we had to like work with because we had been parked somewhere for a second. So there was a little bit of a puddle and they were just like, this is not okay. And I was like, all right, what do you want to do?
Like, are you guys still a department?
Yeah, no, you know what? They brought over a shovel. They were really nice about it. So we worked with them, but it was funny because I was just like, internally, I was just like, really?
As long as we're
you know this
digging that
place
out, I might
floods.
as well shit in that hole.
Right.
Wait, actually, I'm trying. Oh man, I'm thinking really hard here. That hamster wheel is running because I'm like, if that was last year, that's funny
Yeah.
because of the rain.
Of course.
I'm like, wait, was
Pre
that
and
last
during.
year? Wait, I remember we went thrift. No, I think it was the year before that. So not funny.
Oh, the year of
Hot year.
the year of like everywhere piles of dust, where any water on the playa was a good thing.
Oh yeah, that year.
You're being a water truck. You're dust abatement.
In 2022, I had a meltdown in like as a driver in my van because we had to do a service run to man base. And because they were striking man base to get ready for the burn. So this had to be Friday. And there was like crazy whiteout dust storms. And I'm driving around at this point at like 2 miles per hour because it's whiteout conditions. So if you're in whiteout conditions, you really shouldn't be driving.
Generally,
at all.
none. But
Yeah, but like we had a little bit of visibility. We're moving, and I'm seeing every art piece around the man, but I can't see the man, and it's driving me crazy because I'm just like, it's a giant man with lights all over it. Like, how can I not see this thing? And there's people there striking it stuck, and they need water. So, like, I don't know. Sometimes there can be a lot of pressure with their job. A lot of times there can be ways that people kind of accidentally like disrespect us without realizing it. Like, we can be sensitive to like stuff that, you know, like with an outside perspective, I see is really weird. Like we really don't like it when people call us and announce over the radio that their igloos are like empty.
I have heard that, and it sounds fucking stupid every time.
It's just like a part of it is because I would say, and I'm not kidding, like over 50% of the time we show up to those places where people call us and say that their igloos are empty. And what it is that the top is too tight, so the pressure is not allowing water to come out. And they actually have like half full water, and we just like literally add ice and then show them that and be like, hey, like you're fine.
There's a thing where you push the top, and you can feel how heavy it is. And then you unscrew the thing, and you're like, oh, it's like Archimedes, right? You need air to go in if the water can come out. Like, very simple physics.
Well, it's also just the act of like telling us that something is in the state of something when you didn't actually take off the top and look at it. Because if you had taken off the top and looked at it, you'd find a bunch of water.
Or even just moved it.
Yeah, even just like shifted it. Yeah.
I'm pretty
your hand on
important.
the thing.
I can't be touching water jugs. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Thanks. Thank you. That's so kind. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty talented. Their IT gets services from us, and they don't do this anymore. But back in the day, they, for some reason, wanted an igloo in the room with all the servers, and they put it like right next to these servers. And we were supposed to ice them. I would have to go in there and like as precariously as possible add ice to an igloo that was
splashes over every time.
That's
indoors, and it was just like, and like it wasn't a thing. It wasn't.
maybe
like
they're masochists.
I mean, I think maybe they
Job
wanted
security.
Yeah, maybe they're like just like
Server's down.
they're
Gotta order no one.
They're like, please give us a day off. Please mess up these servers and just give us a day off. Like, well, we got to order new ones. Like, everybody go to Burning Man. No, they don't do that anymore. But I actually got really talented at putting a big cube of ice in it.
The cubes are crazy.
And the talent that it takes to put one in without splashing that much is impressive. And I have it, so suck it.
See, this is part of why we go to the burn. It's a skill up.
Yeah, you get
The skill up that you will never use in the regular world.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, I can totally do that, and no one needs this here.
Yep.
okay, well, yeah, on that note, I do sometimes end up in spaces or parties that have igloos, and I like compulsively will look inside them. And when I have no ability to change anything, I'll like look inside and be like, could use
nice.
a little ice. Like, I just like internally comment and then close it, and I'm just like, well, that was useless.
Yep. Lid's too tight on this one.
Yeah. Now I have some knowledge about that cooler.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, I think Shade has this a little bit, and some other crews have this. But what's really awesome about fluffing is you meet so many people. Like when I talk to people who want to work for Burning Man, either as somebody who's never been to the burn or has, like, I'm like, fluffing is awesome because you meet so many people. Like I had mentioned earlier that I had worked at Oregon Country Fair, and it was really funny because one of my friends who worked both Burning Man and Oregon Country Fair, I'll never forget this. He told me, he's like, no offense, Pepe, but like at Oregon Country Fair, you're just kind of like one of the crew. He's like, but here at Burning Man, he's like, everybody knows you. What's up with that? He's like, he's like, you know, he's just like, you were like, he's like, everybody knows you. He's like, and I was just like, yeah, you know,
Kind of a rock star.
people know me. It's cool. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
That's why I was a little surprised to hear you say that fluffers are sensitive about stuff, because I would think you'd be one of the most like get in love crews.
Oh,
I mean,
we
take-
okay.
You don't want to be refilling your own cooler.
We take it in stride, like by default, because honestly, it works against us to
Sometimes people take it for granted.
and also it works against us to basically have any kind of negative relationship with any crew. And like I say that with an understanding that like sometimes that's just gonna happen. Sometimes people just don't like us. That's happened over the years because they're just like, I don't need somebody coming and offering me cold drinks and snacks. I'm fine. I actually work because that's like a thing. I've really actually been trying to shake off like my anxiety and like the chip on my shoulder of the times I've been treated like that, heard stories of my coworkers being treated like that. I mean, I've had coworkers that have literally been told by other like DPW members, like they were like my friend was like, oh, I'm tired. And they were like, why are you tired? You just ride around in a truck all day with ice and water.
Nope.
Yeah. How's it get in there, bucko?
Yes.
And back
heavy
out.
lifting, very cold, very early, and like dealing with you, asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
That's fucking effort.
it's a customer service job. We actually do a fair amount of physical labor.
Well, last year, didn't Lucky Charms, like, she fucking broke her rib.
Oof.
Yes, she did break her rib. She also like fell onto our vehicles. So like
That'll do it.
yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, our vehicles are not like these inherently super
Spongy
things.
box trucks.
They're these big trucks. And yeah, that was really scary. I actually visited her in the hospital in Reno. And
she came directly back and went back to work.
well, and there was a lot of other things too. There was
Sure,
like,
we don't have to get into it. But
well, just
I think it was amazing that I got to see her again.
just in the
because
sense
she's
of
one of my favorite
navigating
people,
workman's
and-
comp
Yeah.
and the details around how workman comps works is not easy.
Yeah.
Because there's limitations on how and when you can work after you get injured.
Yeah, but she didn't have to come back at all, and she did. And
She wanted to stick it out. I mean, it's her I mean, she's more old school
she's
than me.
insane. I love her. She
Yeah.
used to be Shade, so you know.
Yes. I know. The funny thing
Runs
is,
deep.
I always said that if I ever left Fluffers, I would go to Shade, which I still stand by. Although I do wilt in the sun a little bit more than I used to, and so now I'm kind of like,
There are non-sun jobs, but there's vanishingly few of them.
I've just learned about
do
the
them
peers
every day.
program at placement. Like, I might retire there instead of greeters.
Was you were considering greeters?
Well,
I like you. I don't want to end our friendship.
dude, I can give people a bunch of
rude.
hugs. You think I can't creep out people at the greeter line?
No, I know you can.
Nobody is prepared for that flavor of enthusiasm.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm gonna welcome people to Burning Man. I'm gonna welcome them right home.
Greeters are really nice to us Fluffers. I will say this though, the Porto Bank right next to where they work, none of them have hand sanitizer, and it really grosses me out every time I go in there because I just think about them going to the bathroom.
Do they not have their own bar?
No, at the greeter station
At the
or
greeter
greeter.
station, at the greeter
That's
station.
grotesque.
Yeah, they're just going to the bathroom, and I mean, they probably have
Shaking
their own
hands,
hand.
pat backs.
They probably have
You know.
their own hand sanitizer. I hope. Burning Man can be really great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bathrooms are the worst part
Or
of
maybe
Burning Man, in my opinion.
the hypothesis: don't have greeters.
No, I
Move
think-
out 5 miles into the desert. Don't let vendors pump anything.
I mean, I don't know. it's hard. It's hard. Burning Man has traditions. Can't we hold on to some of the stupid ones? Can't we hold on to some of the stupid traditions?
We had a tradition of a drive-by shooting range. What happened to that? Can we bring that back?
It's a different kind of stupid.
Those are bullets. These are people giving hugs at gate, which to you, I understand.
They feel the same to me.
I would
feel
agree.
the same.
I would agree with you if there weren't so many mass shootings in America.
You know what I want to do?
And unfortunately, Nevada's in America. So let's go to a burn in a different country.
It's federal land, so it's not quite Nevada.
No, but it's deep America.
Yeah, it's even more America that way.
No, I know.
Well, yeah.
In the way...
I'm not arguing in good faith right now.
Of course not. In the way that, like, Rangers have DPW Rangers, I want to join the greeters and start the DPW greeters.
Yeah.
My God.
Like, I'm just going to show up at the beginning of August, sitting out there at 12 Mile, waiting.
Or just even like at commissary for like early, because that's pretty much the only people there. Honestly, it would be helpful. The greeters I met at Kiwi Burn were amazing.
I bet.
They did weird me out in the sense that they were like, they immediately talked a lot about consent and gave you consent education immediately. And you're like, whoa. You're like, I'm an American. Nobody
It's the
ever
11th
talks about
principle.
this. And like, it was very present at Kiwi Burn and like,
Yeah,
I don't
hobbits fuck. Like that, they don't tell you in secondary school, but Watership Down, like, that's just about hobbits.
Well, they live like 150 years. Like, that's a long time to collect some STDs. You got to be careful about that.
look at their lifestyle, you know? They're straight chilling. When you're relaxed, you're more down.
Agreed.
Smoking pipes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Looking at each other up and
like
down.
they're eating
Gardening.
all day.
Gardening
Like,
makes people
all day long.
Gardening makes you bend over, and you know.
Uh-huh. And you got those big old feet, and Kurt Vonnegut taught me how sexy feet can be.
It's really not where I thought you were going.
It wasn't Quentin
Yeah.
Tarantino?
Oh, God, no, that means
He
a
didn't.
monster.
Yeah, no, he's terrible.
Well, what a fucking sicko. A brilliant filmmaker, in a manner of speaking.
I have to use the bathroom.
You ought to.
You're permitted.
Okay.
You can either use the bathroom in the house, or you can squat right
There you
between the doors, and we will pretend not to look.
I go around the corner
Normally-
right here.
Normally, I would do that, but I'm hanging out with a bunch of guys.
You can sit on the top of the slide and pee down that.
I get more ladylike around a bunch of dudes. If I'm around chicks,
No,
it's
just
like
on
Oh, we're
full
not
on.
dudes.
On
We're
this
gentlemen.
side, when
Sorry, I'm
when
so
there
sorry.
where there are no windows, just over here.
Yeah.
You can also just go
Yeah,
right
but there's
in
the
side
like
door.
the
Let's
houses.
talk about it more
far
instead
away.
of me doing it. Let's
Yeah.
workshop it.
There's a bidet. You can choose to use the bidet.
Ooh. Is it heated seat?
No, but it's warm in the house.
Does have warm water though. It's not the tap cold one.
I'm gonna go in the house.
Right, that Fallout show, dude.
Not bad.
I already talked to him about it a little bit.
To fully answer your question, I played 3
Yeah.
and loved it. Like
Okay, really, because I've heard 3 is bad, but I do want to check it out.
Dude. So 3 in New Vegas are the best ones.
New Vegas, definitely top of the list.
New Vegas is better than 3, and it's so good on its own that it, like 3 looks bad in comparison, but 3 is great.
So
I get that.
So I think the difference between 3 and New Vegas is that New Vegas is a more complete, more complex version of Fallout 3.
Well, it's more guided. Like there is a thing, whereas 3 I think is open sandbox, and like you don't know where to go, so it's kind of hard.
Both of
but I
them-
haven't played it.
Both of them are open. Fallout 3 gives you an imperative.
Sure.
Like you have to find your father who, in one way or another, will help us save the wasteland and bring some healthy water and vegetation back. That's
the
important.
Wasteland, or I thought it was just a vault. I thought it was just a vault chip water thing, or is that Fallout 1?
Fallout 1, I think, is for the gecko, which is a Garden of Eden restoration thing. This one is, I think it's just something that will clean radiation out of all of the water. But it really gives you this is where you are going to do this important thing. You get distracted on the way, but like got that done in the first like 20 hours and then had all of my adventures to have.
Yeah. No, the side quests are where the meat of like the flavor.
And it is a wide open sandbox, but they do a really excellent job of steering you down a pseudo obvious path in the environment.
3.
And, 3.
Okay.
And guard railing detours too far off that main path by higher level monsters.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard almost the exact opposite.
Well, people may not have played it 3 or 4 times.
I trust H Bomber guy.
He's
This
fine.
is. Oh, that was the chair. That was the chair.
Yeah, I shit my
Built
pants,
in.
but Pepe did sit down.
I'm gonna tinkle as well. But
Yeah, too.
I want
Yeah,
to
too.
normalize shitting pants, okay?
Thank you. Yeah. Oh,
Sometimes it happens.
I think it might have been Beth over the weekend, but someone in the past week was just like, I have never shit my pants as an adult, and I was just like, whoa, aren't you fancy?
Okay. Well, I mean, I still feel this way, but I'll have to tell Beth that I respectfully disagree. But
Yeah, she has shat her
I
pants
am-
at least twice a year.
I hope maybe some day I could be on an episode with Beth because I think she's super cool.
Oh, she is. She
And
is.
she's listening to this, right?
Not only is she listening to this right now, perhaps you can come back when she's here, and we'll all intro. And
Yeah,
outro
no,
the
I
episode
do
together.
genuinely just think she's rad. I still need to dig into the catalog more, but I definitely have listened to some episodes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you know.
Thank you for supporting
You
the
do
podcast.
great. Yeah, you do great stuff. Yeah, I'm a
is,
Spotify listener. Did you get anything from that?
No idea. I don't have a Spotify account, so like I can't even check if we're on Spotify. But it's good to hear we are.
You are on Spotify.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one
I
of
just
my
like even Weird Al like shaded them this year. He was like, I had like over some crazy like millions of listens.
like 200 million
like-
listens and
he's
got like a $35 check.
Yeah, he was like, which paid enough like for my sandwich. So thank you for all listening. You bought my lunch, and it was like this really great. And it was crazy because it was like in media that Spotify had produced. So they just let Weird Al like give him shit over the internet. I don't know.
I bought $21 of music from a musician today. I
Oh yeah,
am quite on top of my high horse,
On the band camp.
yeah.
where I spend most of my money for music.
I do go to shows. I try to buy merch.
Yeah, if you've designed a good T-shirt or a hoodie, I will buy that at a premium. I understand you are getting fucked over left, right, and center.
Yeah, and especially if I know for sure that it's like self-produced and it's just going straight to them. Yeah, you know, should be better. But what are you gonna?
Capitalism should be better. Yes.
Yes.
Oh well.
I know. Okay, so I've talked a
queso? That means cheese.
Queso does mean cheese. We've talked about. Well, I've talked about what my job is like. I'm super curious about y'all's experience with fluffers, like, and also the potentiality that it was me over the years. Because my years were 13 through 17 and 22 and 23. So,
Well,
I've already kind of gone through like my dude, wave them away. I don't need a fluffer here. And that attitude does come from old DPW, which is kind of bullshit, which is like, I don't need anyone to take care of me because you're so hard. Get away. And the advent of the fluffers was a sea change in DPW mentality, just overall about how work was.
Generation 2.
Yeah, I'd say that.
yeah.
So it's a good thing, but it, as in all things, everything needs balance. And I think a lot of people kind of got a little used to being taken care of and decided that they didn't have to really keep their own shit tight sometimes.
Yeah, bring the snacks and sunscreen
Yeah.
and drinks that you like. Just because we're dependent on donations. I love giving people their favorite thing, but unfortunately that only happens like a couple times a week, maybe. Especially not by the end of event week.
Well, like my thing, and Pei can attest to this, is like I don't want fake soda. I want Coca-Cola. And they have these half cans.
Yeah, what's wrong with Shasta Cola?
It's not the same.
Everyone
I want
loves
Coca-Cola.
Shasta is the original knockoff.
That's fine. However, also,
It's
wish-
made with Shasta water.
I wish we had RC.
oh, I would love RC. No, Texas.
I'm a tab man.
You're Tab Man.
No.
Dr. Pepper,
Oh.
Dr. Pepper,
I'm Dr.
and
Pepper.
RC. I love it.
I'm partial to Flying Embers kombucha.
Ooh.
I grew up with racist red soda, and birch beer.
Big
When-
Red?
I think so.
Yeah.
It had the on the
Had that-
3-liter bottle.
Had that red flavor.
Oh God, it was disgusting.
So-
Every goddamn party.
It was cherry.
Wait, so wait, you're a hard kombucha fan.
No.
So 2 years ago was your best year ever, right?
That stuff is still around.
They are so
everywhere.
sweet.
Well, and also they don't age. Like, I mean, beer in general doesn't age very well. The beginning of the season
you
is
can
always
drink it.
rough because it's last year's donation, so it's like a bunch of like pretty
They've
much
been sitting for a
expired
while
beer,
in
yeah.
a desert.
I contend
Temperature
that aged
fluctuations.
PBR and Tecate taste better than regular.
The
PBR.
diurnal shift is
There's-
pretty
Might be
intense.
There's complexity to it that you can't get from the convenience
You,
store.
you can't
Yeah.
get sunstruck in an aluminum can.
Sure, it's true. So
Yes.
when I did quit, the last person I saw on Playa was Pepe.
Yes.
Because she heard that I was leaving and chased me down in her fluffer van as I had all my shit packed into my truck and was going out the gate. And she fucking got in front of me and stopped and gave me a fucking Coca-Cola.
Nice.
As I left.
That's good fluffing.
Didn't
I did not advertise that I was leaving. She just heard about it. I don't know how. What?
I'll be honest. I don't remember this. I don't remember knowing that you were leaving. I do remember you.
Well, the precursor.
I do remember you consistently being one of those people that refuse a fluff, and I am not encouraging this behavior. But if you are one of those people that are like, I don't need anything ever, I will weirdly make it my obsession to figure out what you like and see if I can get one of those things and then offer it to you and get you to accept it, because it's just literally my job, and it's like more satisfying if I'm like, oh, okay, you don't need anything from me, but what about your favorite thing? What about the one thing that you'll take? And so that does track for me that would be that thing. Is like I would finally have Coca-Cola and I'd be like, I know who I'm going to give this to.
I was literally almost to the gate and you fucking rolled up on me
But we had also hung out not
for a couple days.
that far before that. I might have been in it sounds weird to say the room because it was a trailer, but I was in.
It was an easygoing trailer
Yeah.
when I decided to leave.
Yes. And I was there weirdly.
Charcuterie.
How's your mom?
She is doing very well.
Great. So
Yeah.
my experience with fluffers.
Yes.
And you specifically.
Oh.
I remember you from Waste Stream and Commissary.
Whoa.
But also, I believe you're the fluffer who gave me a Ziploc dental hygiene bag the year that I forgot to bring floss out.
Oh, yeah.
And you stopped and asked if I needed anything because I was trudging, as I did after shift back in those days. And I'm a hardy fellow. I'm someone who doesn't need much fluffing, although I do like a good reminder to drink water. And you asked if I needed anything, and I said no, I was fine. And you said, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." And you drove off, and then I ran after you shouting because I was just like, "Wait! It's been 3 days since I could floss."
Yeah.
And you gave me this whole bag of stuff, and I was like, "I really just need the floss. You can keep the rest of the stuff." And you were like, "Well, if you forgot floss, I bet you forgot something else in that bag." And I did run out of like my little mini thing of toothpaste like a day or two later. So good fluffing.
Yeah. All of that tracks is something I would do, but also if it was someone else, we get mistaken for each other even though we look nothing alike.
Sure.
Like,
Well, you both got hair or not.
yeah.
You're all in those big trucks.
Yeah, we're all in the big trucks, which
Except for the ambulance. The ambulance is not a big truck.
And you're all dust colored.
What's the ambulance?
It's a converted ambulance.
we don't have a converted ambulance.
What are you talking? The ambulance.
We don't have a converted ambulance, and I've never seen a converted ambulance on our fleet.
Was it okay? It might have been before you were there.
Yeah.
It was literally an ambulance that the fluffers would roll around in.
I mean, that's
called the ambulance.
That's awesome. I do remember the smaller truck, the smaller vans.
Sure.
My first year that I was driving, I was in one of those, which fluffing out of them is crazy because you're just hunched over all day. So I was like 21 and like having back problems because I was like hunched over all day.
Hashtag van life.
It was van life.
fully.
It really was.
It's the side of van life they don't show you on Instagram back when they showed you things on Instagram, I guess.
No, but we do get mistaken for each other. You know what? I got called shotgun this year which I don't.
Wow.
If any of you guys know?
I mean, I do. I saw her last year, and I was really happy. I went back last year for a week, and I reconnected with a lot of old people that hadn't been there for a while, and it was really great to see Shotgun.
Yeah,
she had things on her shirt, just little points,
Nipples.
No, metal things that you didn't really see. So when you gave her a hug, they just fucking stabbed you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, yes, this is the hug I wanted. This hurts.
That's pretty cool.
And it should hurt. God damn it. I love you, Shotgun.
So, Nips started the Fluffers, and then Shotgun was her best friend and then assistant manager for quite a number of years. And the main thing that is shared between us is that we both have a gap tooth. But that sounds like something I would do. I would offer a whole dental kit and then subtly manipulate you into taking the whole thing and then it working out.
Perfect. Yeah, it did. Love it.
I definitely it affects how I work at events now or even go camping, even anything. I definitely am I feel like I'm pretty able to think of all the things you would need. And maybe I had the disposition for that before because my first year I went out there, most people describe their first year at Burning Man as being really underprepared. I was weirdly over-prepared because I had no idea what working would be like. And then also I had this whole family of burners through my parents and
Did your
their
parents
friends.
go to Burning Man?
My parents went to Burning Man for 8 years.
Oh, burying the lead.
Yes. I was maybe creating an opening. Thanks for engaging with it and rolling into it. Yes, my parents went to Burning Man for 8 years.
In this day and age, you really ought to come up front with being a Nepo baby because it's a situation right now.
Yeah.
It's the end of second act twist.
It's true.
Yeah.
I
Now we're in the third
always
act.
destined. They were not DPW though. And actually, okay, remember, listeners.
They didn't even go to Burning Man.
Not-
They got drunk in the desert and not even in Nevada.
Not you all. You know what? This is just for the listeners. Listeners that were paying attention and remember that I said I was supposed to go to Burning Man at 18 and I never went. Okay, that was because my parents were supposed to take me, and that was the 2011, and that was the year that Burning Man sold out. And my parents were pissed.
I thought it was
couldn't go either?
1996.
Well, they were there was a lot of factors. I get the sense that they ultimately couldn't afford to go because the only tickets they could find were aftermarket. But then also too, they almost had a ticket for me, and then I think they backed out both because of price and also because they were kind of wait, us taking our 18-year-old daughter to Burning Man is different than us sending our 18-year-old daughter to Burning Man.
Cowards!
With our friends that are 10 years younger than us. They were kind of
That could have been great for you, though. That sounds like a hell of a time.
Great or horrible?
Ultimately, I think it was for the best that I gave it 2 more years and then went. And then I went on my own terms. I found my own way in. My parents never went back after Burning Man sold out because they were basically they just kind of were offended by the whole thing in their mind. Burning Man was basically over in what they had done with it. They used to be the mom and dad of their camp, and then that just all kind of changed, and Burning Man changed, and they were
retire, boomers.
My parents are kind of my parents
graduate,
are cool like that.
Graduate and go do something else. Do something with your diploma from Burning Man.
Your parents sound great. Other boomers. God damn it. Sell all of your properties except 1 or 2.
Cheap. Do it cheap.
Retire.
And don't give it to a goddamn corporation.
Stop renting property.
Well, and if you sell a property with a historical house on it, put it in the contract that they can't demolish it and build a modern farmhouse.
Yeah.
That's my gripe.
List your easements. That's all we ask.
Yeah. No, well, my folks are actually pretty young.
Yeah? Is your mom hot?
Old Gen X then?
She's been married for quite some time, but yeah, she is.
Nice.
That doesn't mean anything.
She's way bigger boobs than I do, and she's super gorgeous. Yeah,
I'm glad to hear your mom's hot, but we don't judge attractiveness by boobs the way that you do. I want all of our listeners to know that
actually her
Pepe is the most boobs focused out of the four of us.
I feel like it's my right. I waited so long. I was like, any day now. Any day now. And around 19, I was like, it's never gonna happen. I mean, this is a audio-based media platform of some kind. And so you can't
It's audio based.
so you
Internet.
can't- so you can't
Basic
see.
RSS, as you know.
Yeah, you don't have to half-ass that. That's what it is.
My point is that I'm getting is that you can't see that my boobs are so tiny.
All right. What was our first conversation that I remember?
I was just making you guys uncomfortable.
I was like, oh, I like your glasses.
Anyway, yeah, my parents were burners for 8 years. And so they were super supportive when they found out that I got a chance to go work out there. And then like 3 years in, they were like, you can do other stuff. They were like, you don't have to keep working for Burning Man. It kind of seems like a whole thing. And I was I was like, I don't know. I like it.
You know, it's why we clip our fingernails and go to Fight Club, right?
Because
Burning Man. Have to stay fit for Burning Man.
You do have to stay fit for Burning Man. You gotta have that Burning Man body. I love the memes that were like expectations versus reality when it came to the rain last year. They're just like expectations, like hot, like Instagram model at Burning Man, and then reality is just like this like mud pit.
Yep.
Like tense.
People don't understand how much fun mud can be. Like, dude, take your clothes off. It's fine. Have a little mud wrestle. Like, just get slippery.
Yeah.
It's fine. Dude, it's gonna dry out. It's a fucking desert. Like, don't worry about it.
That's how you get trench foot.
Yeah.
Well, clean it off after.
Oh, yeah. Tell that to Gravy Foot.
Great. Okay, gravy foot is not the same thing as trench foot.
Gravy foot, I
One
think,
leads
would've-
to the other.
He looks like the kind of guy that would get trench foot. No, like not in a mean way.
I know once you get trench foot, like you've got trench foot, and there's
Yeah,
no
it
trench
doesn't
foot
go away
worse
until you
than
leave.
another
Yeah.
trench foot. But trench foot from gravy in your boot seems like a much worse level of trench foot.
Well,
think gravy foot sounds
we
like
may
a
be
man
able
who
to
would have
ask him. I'll
appreciated
see if I can get him on my.
To be clear to anyone listening, trench foot is when your foot is wet for an extended period of time and the skin just starts to fall off and your foot begins to rot. And
Yes.
that can happen.
In the trenches.
Yes, or basically.
Of World War I or II or III.
So just
Because evidently there's trenches again.
There's not going to be water, though.
just let your feet dry.
You don't know that.
Just dry your feet out. It's gonna be great.
It's the opposite of playa-foot.
Yeah, ass down, feet
Yeah,
up.
well, that's what I'm saying. The playa
They
foot.
feel kind of related.
Well, they're
My feet don't peel
I mean-
till after playa.
If
feet are
you've got a case of playa-foot that's as bad as a case of trench foot, I
playa
want
foot
to
does
see.
not
Go to
go away
Rampart.
for a while.
And do you guys
Dude,
have like
playa
an
foot
emailing
sucks.
thing? I'm like, email
Yes.
in your pictures of your
Yeah,
trench
oh
foot
my
and your
God.
playa foot.
If you have terrible pictures of your feet, please send them to the inbox. Obviously, Beth isn't here in this interview, and who knows if she's even proofed this episode. And if she hasn't, she will be so surprised to find all of the pictures of your feet that you have sent into the inbox.
Yeah, maybe be nice.
She's
to
the only
Beth
one
and
that
be
checks
like,
the inbox.
Mostly. I mean, when something
So
pops
many
up
times
that-
I've thought that I was sending it directly to you, D-Day.
Oh, no. You
and-
have my email? You have my
No,
phone
I know, but I figure you all
He's an
see
email
it
guy.
because the accuracy third email is kind of all of you.
Yeah,
I'm so fucking busy.
I see it.
You're not. Just because you have a kid is not an excuse.
It's not the kids so much as like the having 7 or 8 other email inboxes that I also have to check all the time.
Dude, I have 7.
Uh-huh.
I still keep up with it.
Are you
People hate me. People
Are you-
sign up.
Are you
me-
also on social media, regular social media at all?
I used to be, but ever since the fall of Twitter, like I am blissfully like I'm on
Rip.
Blue Sky, but I'm not active like I was on Twitter. Like I was sparring on Twitter all the time.
It's just
I was
Dude, sparring is like, it gives you a quick little jolt, but it's not doing anything.
it is. It's feeding my need to be a reply guy.
That's
Have you
basically
ever
what I
been
just
right
said.
on the internet?
I have been right on the internet a lot.
Twitter used to be the top place for witty quips and up to date events.
Mm-hmm.
And it is really a tragedy that it is just garbage now, overrun by edgelords and white supremacists and
Blue Sky is getting back to where Twitter was.
Blue Sky.
Oh, towards white nationalism or
Where Twitter was, not where Twitter is.
oh, okay. I mean, I thought that's what Twitter was before they did content moderation.
How much porn is on it?
As much as you like.
There you go.
Oh,
And it's
well, okay.
very
Well,
trans-friendly.
I'm okay with it then.
It's
Ooh.
crazy trans. It's like a queer playground. It's wild.
Okay, sold.
According to your algorithm. What about mine?
That's just like the early adopters. They just like got picked up by the queer community and became just like furries on Maine all the time.
Queer and funny.
Well, Mastodon is cool too.
Yeah, we've heard.
It's like Blue Sky,
It's
but
like
all walled
option
off.
paralysis as a platform.
Also, I'm
You
just
think?
I feel so inundated both with content and with apps.
Yeah, it turns out YouTube is a social media. That's my social media of choice.
That same. Ugh, I love YouTube.
I'm okay with YouTube. I'm okay with Reddit because I generally don't actually log in as a person, and I destroy all my cookies every time I close my window.
Right.
So every time I get to YouTube, it's like, this is a new person. We don't know who this is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll search for one thing, and then it'll be fine.
This is where
And it doesn't track me. And then, like, after a while, I'll just close the window.
And then
and-
it doesn't track you.
Right. I have a lot of non-tracker things on my computer to make sure that
this
happens.
is where me and Zeno are really different because I love the YouTube algorithm and the way that it knows. Oh, God. They'll suggest something to me 10 times. I'll be like, fine.
You know-
and then I watch it. I'm like, okay, you were right.
Zeno's head desking right now, but Zeno doesn't fucking know about Bobby Fingers.
You know, it's a mixed bag. It gives me good recs, but then like I watch one video about like how to fix my disc golf throw, and now that's like 3/4 of my algorithm.
If
like
you-
I wanted the one video, YouTube. What?
If you need to get stuff for your disc golf throw, then just search for that.
I did.
Yeah, but
And I
now
watched
it's all
the video.
right-wing disc golf guys in his feet.
Yeah, and there's right-wing guys in every single goddamn thing.
Yeah, they do love to infiltrate.
They are doing nothing
They
but
all sound
just-
like Ben Shapiro. How does anyone take them seriously? The Muppets of hate.
Because their audience is the same.
It's that fast talking that Ben Shapiro does that resonates with people.
But yeah, no, but liberals. No, but really, do they?
Like
Do
the
they?
second,
That's
the second a grown-ass straight man is just like wet vaginas. Like,
But how does that
who
happen?
the fuck is your audience, man?
Is it just the fast talking? Because I want to show them Slavoj Žižek.
Oh, God, that man's wet
Strap
fucking mouth.
in and wipe yourself down, baby.
Whenever Slavov is on like some sort of podcast that I'm listening to, like I have to fast forward past him because I can't have his juicy mouth in my ears for that long.
I don't understand why you have such problems with my explanations of ideology.
That fucking thing right there, Jesus Christ. If it was just punctuating the end of sentences, fine. But like not the end of phrases too.
If I were to address your concerns with my mouth sounds from a purely Freudian perspective, it would miss the material influences that are preconceived.
Okay.
It does sound.
Can we do a Jordan Peterson? Okay, but like humanity needs hierarchy.
It's the
like
gorilla.
from science.
If
They
Morgan
need
Hermit here,
someone who
Zeno.
needs power over them so that they understand what to do.
Zeno, if I may,
You may.
I just want to talk about myths for a second. I really think that the order that men represent and the chaos that is what I feel a woman's vagina is.
It's the hero's journey.
It's the hero's
The
journey.
hero's journey.
He's almost Kermit.
Almost.
You are correct.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is exactly
These
how he
fucking
sounds.
wieners, man. Hot dogs, if you will.
Hot dog.
The
Well, they've-
icon of the woman
They've all
is
been
consuming. And what about men?
Clean your
suffering.
room. His message was clean your room.
Yeah, that's fine. I love that.
Right.
Yeah, clean your room.
Or
you don't
don't.
have to have a hierarchy to do that.
You can handle your shit and have a messy room. like I do.
What percentage of his content was him like super addicted to benzos though? Because that will make you fucking
And just
squirrely
eating
and weird.
meat.
I had a friend.
Wait,
I will not
wait. We
name-
can check this. You can get me addicted to benzos and see what I do. Get me the benzos.
No,
Again.
no.
Come on.
just moved here
Couldn't be
months
that
ago.
bad. It's better than Coke.
I had a
Is it, though?
questionable.
I mean, like, yes, you'll be less annoying, but
Yeah.
there's also that you'll die.
You could probably afford it.
Whatever.
die
We're all
on
going to die.
You can put fentanyl in Coke, Rex. You can
Well,
put fentanyl in
actually, street pills are like the main place where you find fentanyl. Like,
sure,
people.
but
Yeah.
you can put it anywhere.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. No, I had a friend that I will not name that was benzo addicted. They called me, and I had stayed at their house previously. They were like, "When you stayed with me, did you play Stardew Valley and make a farm where you made the main character Dwight Schrute and you planted a bunch of beets?"
Fuck yes. Are you kidding? Did you not do that?
No, I didn't do that. I was like, dude.
Holy shit. You should have done that.
I mean, I'd claim that anyway.
That's fucking amazing.
I'd be like, yeah, but I think it was The Sims.
Well, and I'm a big like The Office fan, so it tracked for me, but I hadn't done it. This person had been high on benzos and they had done it and forgotten and then called me
Right.
about it.
So, yeah.
Which like fun. That was the fun part of it. That was the fun part.
Yeah, the incomprehensible questions. That was the best part.
No, that's the thing. I think benzos would actually really help me actualize a lot of things and like move my life in forward directions. That would be super helpful, but I wouldn't remember any of it.
Yeah, that's what I was just
And
gonna
I can't
say.
do that. Oh, did I steal your thunder?
No, just like you say it's going to do all those things and then you'll forget it, but then you'll also do a bunch of other stuff and forget it. And then
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
to explain
fully.
that to you. It becomes my full-time job
Right.
to remind you what you did. I don't,
Hey, welcome to being a roommate with me.
Oh, great.
No, I've been better.
No, we've both been.
Yeah.
Hey, can we have a little high five?
Woo!
Zeno,
Growing.
I'm glad that you're now recognizing that you've been better.
I appreciate the compliment.
I actually have known him long enough to say that pretty confidently he's done. He's
Oh
done
yeah,
better.
No, Zeno has
I mean, I was there when he quit Burning Man. So
Like the days before.
yeah,
I didn't use her name, but she was there.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh,
It was
things
very
he's
fun.
Quit.
The 2 days of Easygoing's trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have celebrated some birthdays,
It was my birthday.
and it was someone else's birthday too.
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Carney stuff.
It really is.
Dude, Easygoing's crew was just like so used to the fact that like, oh, hey, Easygoing's trailer is like moving. We're just gonna go to work.
Yep.
Like the manager is just he's not coming out.
Not yet.
One of my favorite things Easygoing ever did was there was 1 year where there was a few fluffers living in Power Camp. And so I decided to also live there just in my tent. And it was actually another year with rain. It was early preseason. And I was at Recycle Camp hanging out with my friends for the night. And then I got up for the day and I was going back to my tent. And I'm like getting closer to camp and I hear birds like
Oh, you love that
jungle
shit.
tropical bird sounds, like full jungle sounds and birds. And it was really loud. And then it changed to like whale songs. And I was like, and I'm like walking to camp and I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, why does it seem like it's getting louder and louder? I'm like, where is this coming from? It was coming from our camp. It was Easygoing. He was just like up at like 6:30 in the morning.
He did not sleep if he didn't need to.
blasting these sounds.
And he loved bird songs. He would play that when we lived together.
Well,
he would do that in our house.
And we're talking so loud that when you walked into camp, you like couldn't really have a conversation with somebody. You had to get close to somebody to talk to you. So it was like insanely loud.
Fucking horrendous. Jesus
It was
Christ.
so it
Well-
was so cool though, like as a like okay, now as somebody who's like gone to school for like digital media, like as a sound design project, the Playa has a lot to offer with that, just because sound can travel so far. So you can be so mystified by it, and then finding it in your own home. It would be like, I don't know.
Well, and not to speak for Easygoing, but he was actually really fascinated by bird songs and how they communicated, and he was like really fascinated by birds, and I don't know. He went way into it, and he went way into a lot of things. He went into like cycles and sun patterns and whatnot, and he's an electrician, so he's very much into cycles, and I don't know.
Yeah, so I could see bird songs being fascinating on like a signals level. It's just such a different level of communication. And mind you, this was in the context of it being like a muddy, rainy day too. So it's like Burning Man's already an uncanny place. And then you're having this additional uncanny experience of like basically a sound installation that no one in the camp asked for, which is funny if you like show up and know that you're like, is this okay? You're like, there's a bunch of people.
Well, the manager's doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I actually like to circle back a little bit. We mentioned Lucky Charms like being injured. I was talking about how hard that can be on the level that like you show up for this job. It's already weird because you're in a desert and then you're working and like everything's different. All of your systems, how you feed yourself, how you take care of yourself are all changed. And then you add on top of that something else that makes you like not able to work. Like, and you're hurt and you're dealing with that. And it's like, you're like double removed from your regular routine in the sense that you're like, oh, I know how to show up and do this thing. Oh, wait, no, now you can't like work and you're like in pain. Like, so I'm like very fascinated with like that experience. I think a lot of DPW people that really nerd out about the art and really engage with the community. Like, of course, there's a lot of people that just kind of engage with our community and they go out a little bit, but obviously there's people that come from all different backgrounds that do DPW work that they then have ties there. Like, I don't know, we get part of what I can only speak for myself, but my sense is that part of what we love about it is that you do get that like double removed kind of like weirdness of like, oh, I'm already in this state of doing this weird different thing. And like now the event is happening or whatever. And like I'm having this extra like weird thing out here. Like,
How do you spend your event?
so for years, I like my first year, the event was really hard for me because I was just like, where did all my friends go? Like they all, because I've always worked jobs where I had to work during event, which I would say most jobs. I mean, it's different now because there's like a lot of like middle management kind of jobs where people are still doing stuff during event a little bit. But I always work during event because fluffing never stops. There's always people working. And then on top of that, like, I've done Inner Circle of the Burn now.
What does that mean?
3 times. Inner Circle of the Burn is when you go down these like fun little like alleyways that are around the circle of the Burning Man. And
When it's about to be burned.
when it's about to be burned or burning or whatever, you go into these areas. There's like rangers there to like check if you're supposed to be there. You have like a special pass, and so you just get to be a little bit closer to the man on fire. I'm officially like over it just because there's no bathrooms in there.
Nope.
So I like
And
It'll
it
melt.
melts goddamn hot.
That's why you have holes in the bottom of your truck.
Danger hot.
It just leaks out.
And also,
Fine.
there's just so much fun to be had around the area. The main thing I like about being in the inner circle is you can really see all the fire dancers, and I do appreciate the work that they put in. So, and I don't know what I get up to during the week. Over the years, it's like I've just kind of checked out free food and looked at art, like gone on some pretty wonky art tours. In recent years, it took me 8 years to realize that I like to go rave at Burning Man. I was taught wrong.
Oh, you did not tell me that before you moved in with me.
I was
now I
taught
live with a raver.
Whatever. You knew
went-
that I worked at Lightning in a Bottle for a number of years. Come on. Oh, what am I doing there? Oh, just hanging out. Like, come on.
Working the event.
I'll allow it this time. You get a pass.
I do really like Camp Question Mark.
Yeah, everyone does.
I like the bass music. I like the weirdos. But also, there's so many good sound camps now. It's kind of overwhelming. I'm like, calm down, guys. Like, jeez. There was one this past year that had like this giant inflatable kraken like as their frontage. So you come into their camp and there's just these giant like tentacle arms all around the camp like coming out. Pretty impressive. Also, they played some like super weird bass music, like the kind of stuff that I associate with like Big Ben and stuff.
Make Burning Man dubstep again.
Yeah, I mean, Trend Cycle says it's coming back around. Skrillex
Fabulous.
was at Lightning in a Bottle this year.
Of course he was.
Skrillex was at the Capitol in San Francisco.
He doesn't play dubstep anymore though. Now he plays like this like hard techno kind of, I guess, house-ish music.
I don't know what he played before, and I don't know what he plays now, and I don't care.
Why? But you know so much music. Why wouldn't you?
But you love house
I love
and jungle.
I love good music.
I love jungle.
I actually love jungle.
Can we? Get
I
more-
don't know what the different types of techno are.
Oh, just keep naming them.
Well, that's not true. I know
Dark
dubstep.
House.
I do love me some
Dubstep.
dubstep. What's that one that like
Jungle is drum and bass with.
Oh, drum and bass. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
Drum and bass is a good one.
Oh, I like drum and bass. You double drums.
I see.
Gotcha.
I don't. ICP? Like
No,
ICP?
no, nobody likes ICP.
I do.
There's a lot
yeah.
of ICP. They're down with
We
clown.
do kind of.
I am down with the clown, man.
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna say that I'm a juggalo or know what any of.
You don't
the
have to
songs
be a
are,
juggalo.
but I do think that we should go to the gathering of.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Unironically,
Yes,
we've been talking
fully.
about this a lot.
I'm not ironic about this.
Yes.
Unironic.
Okay, great.
We're gonna all go.
So we're gonna go to the gathering of the juggalos,
Fuck Burning
and
Man,
we're going.
Gathering
Well,
of
not
the
fuck Burning Man. We're gonna
Juggalos. No, I'm
do
just
both. You can fuck at Burning Man, and I've been told it is also possible to fuck at
No,
the
I'm
gathering of the juggalos.
It's not. Yeah, everyone will want to. Like consent is sort of universal, but you're gonna be too drunk.
Consent is universal,
At
but
the
you're going to be too drunk?
Gathering of the Juggalos.
Wait, what?
Gathering of the Juggalos.
Yeah,
Yes.
depends on who you are. and who
It
you
depends
are.
on a lot of things on that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that you have
Rex
to be
is
too drunk.
projecting right now.
No, that is
Yeah.
the proper way about things, but also
You definitely have to be
not gonna
prepared
talk.
for
Have
assholes.
you ever looked at any Juggalo material?
Yes, we've watched a lot of documentaries on the gathering of the juggalos, but as you
There's
know,
actually-
it is rare that I get too drunk.
And also, like,
Is there?
I have hung out with a lot of juggalos.
Mm-hmm.
And the things they do for camera are not necessarily the things they do in life.
Rex has repaired my incapacities before.
I don't know what that means.
It's because we're on the mic right now.
Okay.
I'm
What does that mean?
let me just state for the record that I can probably come off the dome with some ICP lyrics.
Yeah.
I am not
What is a juggalo?
I don't know.
I am not speaking from ignorance, and I shan't. I shan't.
I love that the song is "What is a Juggalo." He just repeats over and over. I don't know.
He's like, I don't know. He just
Like he
dips
calls
his nuts in your Fago. I don't know. He's just a fucking
he fights
dumb
his
fucking
friends
idiot.
and then he hugs it out with them.
Yeah.
It's actually a really
God, it's going to be such a sticky weekend. I don't like being sticky.
It's just cheap soda everywhere.
I just
you
don't
should-
like being sticky.
You're like,
you don't
can
actually
you spray
have to
me
get
with
sticky.
the diet?
You don't have to get over there.
I
Like
don't
you
think
can
it's
stay
up to
away.
us.
It's like
I
the
think
Gallagher
it's
show.
everywhere,
You
dude.
don't have to get covered in watermelon.
No, like
Just
the Gallagher
step
show
back.
doesn't have that many juggalos.
Look, you've been to a dollar beer night. There's no way not to get sticky when you're there.
I'm not sure. No, I've never been. What?
You've never been to a
I
dollar.
used to
dollar
go
beer night?
I used
I
to
don't
go
know
to
what
an open mic comedy dollar beer night.
Oh no!
I might have gotten laid after an open mic comedy dollar
bet you
beer
did.
night. I'm like, why are there not that many women here?
In college, there was this horrendous club that we used to go to Wednesday nights because they would have $4 pitcher of Yingling nights. And I would go to Club America in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and get myself 2 pitchers of beer through the evening, drink them like mugs, and immediately go home.
Yeah. Wait, so what kind of place was this that had $4 pitchers?
It was a dance club in
dance
central
club,
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
I I had friends that used to work clubs, strip clubs. And there was like this one club that had 50 cent like beer pint nights.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
It's just
In Seattle, there's a goth club that did that. It was like 50-cent Paps. It was an honest to God pint.
To bring us back to hot dogs,
yeah.
there used to be a racetrack. God, I think it was in Redwood City. That place closed, right? We'd go down to the Redwood City Downs on Friday nights. They would have $1.50 beer and hot dog.
Hell yeah.
And you'd get like a 12-ounce cup of
Eat your heart out, Costco.
like Miller or Bud or something, and like the saddest fucking hot dog.
$1.50.
Yep.
Bud and a glizzy.
We didn't even have glizzies back then. This was the
The
aughts.
fuck is a glizzy?
Oh, God, we got to go in and show them glizzies now. Goodbye, everyone.
Is glizzy different than hot dog?
No.
You said hot dog.
If there's hot dogs involved, let's go. Yeah.
When I think of glizzy, I think of the swallowing of glizzies. That was Zeno and Pepe.
Pepe.
Should we make Zeno is my pal t-shirts and sell them on burnernarc.com?
Sure.
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, no, 100%. It would make him very unhappy and uncomfortable, which I'm pretty sure is his highest feeling of love.
What I am going to do is I am going to get a t-shirt and wear it saying Zeno is my pal. And I am also going to get that printed across the ass of some booty shorts. And I am going to hug Zeno in a very public place wearing my Zeno is my pal coterie.
You are like one of the aliens that torment Jerry. Your pain. Your pain. I love it. Your humiliation. It's my favorite.
If I were as gentle with Zeno as I feel toward him, he would push me away.
You're not wrong.
Zeno knows that my effort toward his discomfort is proof that I hold him in high esteem and want him to be happy.
That might be the most insightful thing you've ever said on this podcast.
It's not true, but
Doesn't mean
it's
it makes it
close.
in. Yeah, remember when I said the stars in the sky are like sprinkles on top of a cake? That was insightful.
No, it isn't. That's not insight.
That's just a simile.
Beth, did you listen to this episode?
Which one?
This one with Zeno and Pepe.
No, not at all.
Well, you ought to know that Pepe was very disappointed that she didn't get to interview with you because Pepe is a listener of the podcast and she would like to be friends. If you would like to have a friend named Pepe. Pepe is maybe our first fluffer on the pod.
Fluffers have my heart and soul.
We should have said that at the top of the episode, but this isn't an episode. So fuck you guys. I'm going home.
Fluffers are the shit. Fluffers are like the sweetest, kindest. I love the Fluffers. And we had this Fluffer Spunk on our team for years who has been on the podcast at this point, I'm pretty sure.
No, Spunk won't interview with us.
I understand.
Spunk doesn't have stories.
Liar. But like the folks who do the heavy lifting of your water and your ice and, keeping you alive part about working very heavily in the desert. It's very easy to get big girl crushes on all of them. And Spunk was definitely one. I assume Pepe. I have not met a fluffer that I haven't had a crush on, honestly. So I assume it's my fault for missing Pepe.
And I'm going to say between our ranch episodes and like the black hole episode and the episode in the Vulcan, which I barely remember, there's vanishingly small chance we haven't had a fluffer on at some point.
I mean, Andy's been on. He's a fluffer.
Yeah, but he didn't talk about fluffing.
It's true.
And he's not a fluffer.
I think he is at this point, and I think he struggles with that.
Well, they haven't fully poached him or poached him at all.
It's not a fluffer unless their meals get billed to his meals get billed to their department.
Accuracy Third is produced by Accuracy Third. This is a burn barrel, so we don't have to do an outro for it. Goodbye.
Bye now.
Love you, kinda, sometimes.
Burn barrel.
Yeah, if there's music in it, I did it, because who wants to be associated with one of these fucking things, am I right?
Hot dog.
Hot dog.
Hot dog. Hot dog.
These fucking wieners, man. Hot dogs.
Hot dog.
That was the fun part of it.
Fucking horrendous.
I'm like, why are there not that many women here?